leads than we saw them lose up against Uniq last time. Don't know if they were spotted here by Pearson, just holding this side of the jungle. They've made their way in. We're going to start recalling. They've got some early vision down at the very least, so objective of the invade, not necessarily accomplished, but they do have an advantage gained from it.
Yeah, Snappy waiting here as well, maybe looking to see if Cyrex rotates as Shaquille stops his back. He's the one who has warded, so he'll be about there for a little while. Won't have a sweeper. As we do see Antwerp moving back towards the top side, they have decided where they want to start. So jungle is starting on opposite sides of the map here.
And pathing to what we're expecting to be, I guess, I don't think that this is the case for Antwerp, because I don't know that he has actually any winning lanes in this early stage. He's got Zeri versus Tristana in the mid lane, which is a little bit of a unique mid lane matchup, and not in the sense of the team, excuse me if you'll pardon the pun. But we've not really seen double marksman mid lanes for a fair few seasons now, Duckling, and with Shaolin at least being very aggressive early on, has got press the attack, has got the ignite, I think leveled rapid fire at level 1 to try and press that advantage distinctly early. So there could very well be this onus of pressure on that bot side in the mid lane rather, to make something happen a bit earlier.
Yeah, my eyes on Shaquille and his clear now. As we are seeing him, he has only taken the red, moved straight up towards the blue, actually skipped that as well, moved towards his Grump instantly, so top lane looks to be the priority. What makes sense as well, try and target the coach, who's been subbed in for this one game. And especially, as I mentioned as well in the draft, if you get your Aurelia ahead, and as you said, Aurelia is good against playing against AD carries, Uniq have 2 of them, all of a sudden this Aurelia just becomes unstoppable, really.
Exactly. Again, quick reiteration. Saw on the bottom there that Stumpy is on the player graphics cycling through. It is Lolzot, a coach for Uniq, not Stumpy, the former top laner for Munster Rugby Gaming in Spring Division 2 roster. So we were talking a little bit in the pre-show about all the pressure that comes from not having played for the entire season, or the entire split really, to be subbed into this game. How about not really of ever being a player, let alone played this season? The pressure there certainly going to be a fair bit higher.
Domino missing that hook down in the bot lane just shows the signs that they want to fight early on, not just with their jungler, but they're happy to take fights without them as well if they find the right engages. But as things are slowing down, it's just a quiet little early game here. My eyes still on Shaquille, because this early pathing didn't really lead too much from him. He's now just behind in CS and has to kind of reconfigure his route here.
Yeah, start again on the clear, unfortunately. And what you can see from Pearson here is actually really just strong kiting on the Annie. When you've got Molten Shield, you get a little boost of movement speed, and if you're using those to dodge out on the engages from Snarby, then you're going to be finding a lot of advantages. You can see him walking up using this area to be very aggressive versus Nautilus, versus the Ziggs, and at least force them to potentially miss CS, feel a little uncomfortable trying to engage at all. Because as soon as Laurie throws out these skill shots to go for a CS, it means that their ability to find kills or at least damage on a trade is significantly reduced.
Oh, Lolzot just wants to get ward and get some security, but instead he gets caught out and flashed away.
Flash.
Not enough, and on the bot side as well. Uniq, they find one back, but Cyrex falls to the turret with the help of Larry. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Domino.
Okay, so great flash predict, excuse me, from Fjumpen on that top side. Knows that Lolzot is going to try and flash his second E, predicts it perfectly. You can see, look, Fjumpen holds to this, waits for Lolzot's flash, still catches him on the back end of it, and then manages to find the kill that goes to Shaolin as well. Down on that bot side, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's a trade that I genuinely favour for Domino. With Cyrax going down, it gives Larry a bit more time to farm that is just unanswered.
Yeah, it's a good start, and you can already see the level lead building here up in the top lane. Fjumpen now happy to take the trades, hasn't expended the gold, won't be too far ahead. Luckily for Lolzot, it was not Fjumpen who got the kill. That would have been the real disaster, and already Uniq go in damage control mode, sending everyone up towards the top side.
And this is a great timing for Fjumpen's recall as well. Still has teleport, so I can get back into that lane very quickly. But you can see Pearson working his way around. They've got Antwerp here as well. If they wanted to go for a dive on the Aurelia, it's going to be very difficult with the damage reduction that comes from W. But it looks like Pearson there was just hovering, making sure that there wasn't an engage that happened from Fjumpen on this TP timing. And now goes back to base with just a little extra vision put into the Domino's jungle.
And I want to kind of say there's a lot of pressure on Pearson this game, not because in particular it's him who I'm expecting to carry this game for Uniq if they were to win it, But I'm thinking back to the last time these two teams played. He was also on this, and he had a poor early game, but he was the one who managed to find the right engages with the tippers and turn around these more important team fights, which in the end led to Uniq rather winning the game. So I'm looking to him again to see, can he replicate that performance and find these crucial fights when we reach the latter stages.
Laurie, obviously, with a bit of free time down on the spot side, getting a bit of solo experience, while we see Snarby, who's been, for a large part, Shakail's jungle pet again, just moving into the jungle, fishing for wards onto Antwer. And this is a distinct split map, right? We saw Antwer take the entire top side. We see now Uniq under a bit of pressure underneath this turret. There are 4 people here looking for a dive, and Domino, they want to find this advantage.
Yeah, Shaolin level 6, but they're keeping the minions out of the turret range. Very nice there from Cyrex. He just takes a bit of poke from Larry, but that's really way better than being dove by 4 men of Domino. Such a nice move there from him, realizing the situation he found himself in and finding a good workaround.
You mentioned damage control. That was the best and only real way that Cyrex and Pearson were going to be able to get away from that. If that wave hits the turret, it gives free time for Domino to set up appropriately for their dive, means that they can get all of their skill shots in order and make them a lot less difficult to miss. But with them holding the wave just outside, it means if Domino were to go for it, they'd have had to take turret shots on entry. Pearson can then flash engage onto the person who's tanking turret, and it becomes a lot more difficult. So they survive the 4 versus 2 and make Domino waste a load of time in the bot lane.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm very impressed by Cyrex there. It is very nicely played, and now I'm looking to Domino again to see what is their next move and how will they try and build up an even bigger lead now, because that failed. You now don't have priority on the bot lane. The Drake could theoretically be started here by Uniq. Instead, they'll focus on vision control. So my eyes are now back on Shakail. Where will he, move next?
Got a bit of time to try and farm up some camps. Obviously, we're spending so much time on the bot side, going to want to get the respawned up camps. But Pearson shows his face in the mid lane. Fjumpun has first move from top side, and it's a 4v3 right now. But you can see on the minimap, Snarby moving. It's that Rift Herald timer, so famous for the NLC, as 8 minutes hits, dawns, and looking at our level 6s, Snarby nowhere near it, Pearson nowhere near it, but both the AD carries have got it. No junglers have it either, so not a particular fight that goes either way. And, we might just see a bit of a mid lane ARAM for a little bit while teams decide who gets this Herald.
And let's just see if anything happens here, because Fjumpun might be looking for their grouping up. They want Pearson, Flash is available, and he will use it to get out for now. Now it's Edward, the one in trouble. Rather, Pearson still the one who somehow ends up dying. Cyrex forced to flee, but chased down by Larry, who finds the second kill of the fight for Domino. Now, though, the lightning crash is stacking up, and it's such good damage back from Paul, who flashes forward for 2. He'll look for 3 as he chases down Shakail for the triple kill. And the mid laner for Uniq turn around the fight.
And he'd not had Prio this entire laning phase, but when it comes up to the fights, Paul steps up massive. 3 kills for the Zeri in the early stages is what no team wants to be facing up against. And that is a great boon for Uniq. They weren't the ones that engaged, but they were the ones that were able to kite this out. Snarby goes for the engagement. It's onto Pearson of all people, and he doesn't die instantly. Paul, left unchecked, is even able to use his E to reposition over the wall, buys himself space from that front line, never even forced to burn Flash in this fight. And then when an attempted re-engage comes through, it goes wide. Domino forced to run for the hills. They spent so much trying to kill a bot laner, and yes, they managed to take down Cyrax, but wasn't worth it in the end. They get absolutely mowed down, and now the Herald in the pockets of Antwer.
Yeah, I just realized in the replay as well, right? All the ultimates used, except for the hijack from Shakail, which wasn't... It was the lightning crash he stole, so it wasn't that important ultimate in terms of locking anyone down, and nothing had gone on support. Everything was used on the bot lane of Uniq, getting both of those kills, but as you said, it just wasn't enough to win the fight, because if you leave Paul unchecked, he will find a way to turn it around, and this now leaves the goalie just 1k in Domino's favor, but they're not done. Pushing the trigger, they want to get even more, and this time Cyrex, the wave has already crashed, and in a 1v3, he's just dead.
Wow, trade.
Oh,
that
no.
is a little bit of a misplay there from Domino. Snabby goes down. Obviously, he'll have to hold this. Lolzot does get out to safety. But yeah, down on that bot side, Shaolin tanked first, which wasn't ideal. It means they had to wait for a little bit. Now Larry dies as well down here. Antwer doesn't have ult, so maybe he gets away.
Larry a bit too far forward here. I think he's pretty much dead. It might take a while, but Amber will slowly but surely poke him down with the stick a couple more times. That's a good shot down over to the Uniq jungler as well. So What's really going well then for Domino? Not much, because they take the pause. I think Fyumpyung is doing well.
Okay, so yeah, like you mentioned, that top side is going well, and this Aurelia in the late stages of the game, or even in this mid game, honestly, is going to be a nightmare for Zeri, for Kaiser to try and deal with. But as far as AD carries go, those are my, in the top 5 AD carries for dealing with the annoying assassins like Fiora, like Aurelia that we get to see right here. Vayne, probably my number 1, but that champ sucks right now, so you don't want to see that on your screen. Kaiser very good at dealing with bruises because she's more of an assassin herself generally as far as ADCs go. But I think that with Domino having a lot of pressure on that top side, they need to be careful not to let that slip out to losing things down in the bot lane. The 1-for-1 on the bot side was okay. It could have been better, but then of course Larry overextending, trying to use that Ziggs to break a turret does cost, again, a little bit extra. And with Antwerp being able to pick up 550 gold from that kill, it's going to make it even more difficult for team fights to get played out if you are obviously Domino, because the Wukong spinning through your entire team when that Divine Sunderer gets finished, really, really difficult once again to try and team fight against it because it does so much damage.
And I'm seeing some worrying trends now for Domino, because it's kind of the same thing we've seen a couple times before. They're the one to make the plays, they're the one to engage, but they never fully win the plays. They're not the one to get 3 kills and a Herald without losing anyone. They lose 3 kills after getting 2. Then they lose the Herald. Then they go for another play on the bot side. Well, they should have gotten a 1-for-0, just being able to take the kill, get some plates. Instead, it becomes a 1-for-1. Like, these plays aren't going fully in their favor, and they can't build up this big lead that they need. And Uniq are just scaling into the game, surviving, and slowly but surely getting to the point where they feel comfortable to take over.
It's important to notice that Domino do have a gold lead, though. As far as fights go, they've not been going their way, but as far as plates, CS, all of the other metrics, they are decidedly ahead. That mid lane is about even, but first turret just falls. Fyumpyung now with an extra injection of essentially 2 kills worth of gold. Larry down on that bot side has taken a ton of plates as well, and with the Ziggs, you're likely going to be able to break that turret down if you get a little bit of free time there. Uniq do take the first Drake of the game. This is a Hex Tech going in their back pocket, but it's, again, building up to that notion of Uniq that they're going to be a team to scale, not do too much through these early stages. And I think that the fact that that fight around the Herald went so well their way sets them up greatly with that advantage.
It's a setup for success, and now it's just to see if Uniq can capitalize on it once more. Last time it was an even harder fought game, I would say, for Uniq, where they were the ones to find the big turnarounds in the later fights. This time they've been able to find it earlier around, and with the Herald they've managed to gain from that, they'll be able to make sure someone like Cyrex isn't too far behind, or maybe even Antwerp gets ahead here in gold as the Herald charge comes through.
So there are a couple of interactions that I want to talk about quickly during this game. We've already seen one of them, but Shaquille taking away Cho'Gath every time the ulti timer has worn off of Lolzot, Shaquille needs to go up there and just steal an ulti, because Silas gains permanent max HP like the Cho'Gath does. It doesn't go away when the ulti does. So it's really good to just cycle those ults around, whether you use them on minions, on champions, whoever it is, because getting 6 casts in its entirety in the game can be fairly difficult. So you just want to be cycling that up off cooldown. It makes you a little bit more tanky, a lot more durable in the front line, obviously, as a Silas is going to want to be. And then the latter, really, for that is this bot lane combo for Domino. We didn't get to see it do too much in the early stages. That's because Ziggs is a fairly weak early game champion. But now there's a couple of, when there's a couple of items in his back pocket, rather, the synergy between Nautilus and Ziggs is incredible. Nautilus just locks somebody down, and Ziggs cannot miss skill shots. If that's a Kaiser, if that's a Zeri, they're going to start getting one-tapped by a full Ziggs combo in conjunction with a Nautilus CC chain.
And let's see a Nautilus CC chain potentially as Antwerp. Could be in a bit of trouble. Snappy wants to chase him out of his own jungle as Chicane takes over. Gets I think 4 out of 5 Raptors, or 4 out of 6 or whatever. It's at very least a good ratio for the dominant jungler to leave with. As Uniq control of the bot side, but it is definitely Domino who own the top side of the map.
We've seen this a lot from both of these teams so far this game, just willingness to split the map. What we've not seen is respect on the flip side. Both of our AD carries going to full prey to these dives.
That's the Flash Force, and I think Uniq are happy with that. Let's see what Domino get on the other side. No flash for Lolzot, and he just dies underneath the turret. This time, no Snappy gets out alive.
Okay, really good. And even if he doesn't die, even if he doesn't get out there, that's still more than worth for Domino. The difference in this situation, right, is that, well, there's two. Domino don't lose anybody on the flip side. Larry actually survives, does have to burn the flash, but that's not a concern. But this is a tier 2 turret falling in the top side that Domino get. This is a tier 1 turret that actually still hasn't even fallen yet for Uniq. We saw Larry, I think, use the explosive ult to clear out a wave, means that Cyrax isn't even going to get this turret in the 6 wave clear, proving to be just as strong as ever. And this is a really big win for Domino once again.
Yeah, see, this felt crucial. As you just said, the goal lead before these couple of plays was around 1.5k. Now it's exploded into almost 4k goal lead, 3.5 at the moment rather. So it is definitely grown a lot, and the gold goes on to the right people as well. Shakale is getting some gold to be able to stay in the game, remain relevant. A lot of the turret and minion gold. Just look at Fyumpung. He's doing fine in that regard as well. So the gold is getting on the right targets now for Domino, and that just gives me more hope for them. Shouten just takes down a turret in the mid lane almost.
One more auto attack. I like that he didn't greed for it there. Pearlison obviously stood ready. I think could have afforded to be a little more aggressive. Has flash, has ignite ready. I think that Shaolin probably should have died under that turret there. But saving it for a bigger objective, right? This Rift Herald spawning in just under 20 seconds. You can see 4 members of Uniq already here with lolzot having teleport. Will be able to join if necessary. But look at the difference between our 2 top laners right now. Fyumpung level 10, where lolzot literally only just hit level 9, and those items are nowhere near comparable either. This is a window for Domino to be very aggressive with their lead, but instead they're going to opt to take turrets elsewhere. Got one in that mid lane, and I think if this 2-man core hops down to the bot side, lolzot might be falling prey again.
Yeah, he's struggling at this point, and I don't want to say it's his fault. He's been ganked a million times and been Doven 2 times as well. As the Herald instantly gets summoned, they will just get a charge. Maybe even more, as Larry now caught out no flash, remember, from last fight. Runs for quite a while. Good damage back onto Cyrax. So maybe Domino can get something back. Flash forward from Shakale. Will secure that 1-up gone. That duck goes wide, and now Pearlison caught out alone. Shakale, though, on the other side, fighting a losing battle, and he falls. Now Paul, the target for the side of Domino. He gets knocked up by the depth charge. Locked down by Snappy, and gets taken out as well. Fyumpung secures that one, but they are still not done. It's a 3-for-2 in favor of Domino as they win the fight.
And this is different. Last time it was Uniq managing to eke out advantages in the big 5v5 team fights, and that was their saving grace. This time, the lead is too big. Fyumpung is too much of a factor in these fights, and Domino find another lead. lolzot wasn't even a part of that. Yes, we mentioned he has TP, but look at the jungle and compare those wards to where the fight was fought. There was nowhere for lolzot to go. He just has to take a slow walk in, eventually farms his wave, and ends up not really being a part of the fight. So it's a 5v4 and one that Domino quite rightly win, extending that lead once more. They've completed the outer sweep of turrets, and now can even look to try and take a dragon, stall that late game that Uniq would have wanted with a Drake Soul, and really put themselves in a great position to close out.
Yeah, this is the best position I've seen Domino in at 70 minutes, I think. They're feeling confident, and the fact that they have already taken some hits, had some misplays, but been able to bounce back from them and continue to grow the goal lead is what really, really impresses me here. Because every game I've seen Domino, they've been able to get that early lead, they've misplayed a couple fights, and then they've just lost the game. This time, early on, they're making some mistakes. They're not playing perfect, but they're able to regroup, refocus, and then build a lead again. It's a new side of Domino that I haven't seen much of, but I'm really, really happy to see, even if it is the last game of the split.
Just need to make sure those old habits are put to bed more so than anything. Don't want to see those return, as mistakes certainly can happen in this mid-game. It has been a criticism of these 2 teams that their mid-game antics and what they get up to tends to leave them exposed versus our better teams. So hopefully they don't end up falling back down to that tendency, and Uniq say what we might about how well they've been sort of demolished in this early stage. Their late game team fighting is still going to exist. Cho'Gath will still be a sack of HP. Whether or not it lasts for particularly long, you know, we kind of have to wait and see, but they're going to have Zeri, they're going to have Kai'Sa, and if they can get to those 2-3 item power spikes, Uniq are going to have a fighting chance.
I just want to take ourselves back to the bot lane tier 2 turret. That melted in seconds, by the way.
Tristana Ziggs, baby.
Tristana Ziggs, yeah. Wow, that is absolutely disgusting when those 2 work together. Shaolin didn't even get the demolish bug off. The turret fell before that with the help of Larry. It is absolutely obscene how much damage they do together, and it just means as well the way Uniq have to play this, they have to be so careful around who's split pushing, because all of a sudden, Tristana could show up, melt your turn in a couple seconds with the help of Larry. He could do it in a half. So Uniq have to be careful and, you know, read where everyone is on the map.
Yeah, Larry's right now at this really nice mid-game point of Ziggs, where you use your short fuse passive on a turret, cast 2 spells, and it's up and ready again. At the early stages at level 1, for example, passive on Ziggs scales from spells shortening it down from 4 seconds to 6 seconds as you go through the game. At 6 seconds, it feels a little inefficient to use 2 spells, but Snobby's caught.
Yeah, good flash over the wall. CP forced as well. And the damage back is massive from Larry. That's such a good ultimate, just dissuading any further engage from Uniq.
2v4 really holding off, and now Fjumpun's here. I don't know that he's going to find an engage. We'll be flashing for a Cho'Gath, but opts not to.
Oh, Snappy. The other one to go back in, half HP. Remember, flash forward from lolclips. He wants it, but unable to get the feast out, and instead he's eating for dinner.
Wants it, won't find it, unfortunately. Snobby caught on the pink ward, but not going to go down. Obviously, Cyrex still has killer instinct if they want to try and contest this objective. It's a Baron at 20 minutes, Duckley. It's been live for about 4 seconds before it's getting attacked. Antwer is alive, is around, but
5k, I don't think he can even make it. 4k and dropping, maybe he might, but it's so tight. 2k HP, flash available, they're in the pit already. It's a 50-50 secured by Chicane, and now Paul has to try and get something back, but it's only table scraps. As now is Domino running back. They've only lost Shaolin, they're happy with that. They just need to get out, they take the Baron. And that's a massive one for Domino.
Huge fight for Domino. Managed to secure the Baron and only lose Shaolin. Fjumpun can still split push on the map. Laurie can even go to a side lane if they fancy. This might be a bit aggressive. I think they want to fight.
Ooh, yeah, they get the turret, but what else, Fjumpun? Somewhat low, but Cyrex not very tanky himself. There it comes. The big bomb! And that is an evisceration if I've ever seen one. Wow, Cyrex disappears in the hands of Shakale. Lolclips goes in to just die yet another time, and Domino are really putting their foot on the pedal at the moment.
Yeah, one thing that they didn't change about Zoe was the AP ratio on her ultimate. There's a reason that you don't build it normally. Okay, more.
Oh, Larry forced to flash away, but the trade back damage is so good. And even as Snappy falls, it is still a trade back for Domino. The most important carry still alive. Person looking for something but unable to get it. It is falling apart for Uniq, and Domino, they are running with it.
10k gold lead on the cards, really, if they can secure this outer turret. Really strong start to this game. Pilsen even goes down as well. Gale falls from Shaolin. There's no remorse between these two teams. A really powerful Baron so far. And there's still a minute and 30 seconds on it. They've still got it on 3 of their 5 members. They've got time to go back, get this Drake, and maybe even assess for a second push.
This is so refreshing to see Domino be able to play this style of League of Legends and just absolutely dominate these fights. Let's see it one more time. Flash forward. I didn't even think the Kingslayer was needed. No, it went onto lolclips instead. So just the lightning crash to take down 40% of Cyrex's HP bar. Absolutely massive, as Uniq are struggling to cope with the intensity of Domino's press here. I mean, it's almost like a gegenpress at the moment they're playing. It is. I mean, they're just good on the second fight as well.
Baron obviously about to wear out, but Drake firmly on the cards for Domino. Uniq not really in a position to contest this, but it's one of those moments where you're thanking your lucky stars that you took one Drake about 7 minutes into the game, because this would be soul point for Domino, and you know, if that's the case in 5 minutes time you have to take a fight. Not particularly likely that Uniq would come out on top of that. They are praying for Domino to misplay somewhere, because at the minute the game is entirely in Domino's hands. Uniq don't really have too much to say unless there's a misstep from a Domino solo laner, from somebody who's a bit too far forward. Snobby, known to be a bit of an issue when it comes to that, but he's got the team supporting, and you can see Shaolin posturing on the other side of the wall, ready to jump into 3 people if necessary, if Shaolin and Snobby give him the order.
And I completely agree with what you're saying, right? Because now it is Domino who needs to be caught out if Uniq want to win. They've done that before, but they've learned from their mistakes, and we can see it here yet again, as they're the ones to pick the correct fight, get the kill, and Paul trying to fight back, just do good damage. They might actually need to be careful. A flash ball from Paul. He wants to shout it in the front line.
That's 3.
Oh, but it's not enough. He falls to the bomb in the end, though. Snappy will fall as well, so it is 4 for the side of Uniq in exchange for 2, a massive fight, and they are back in the game.
Every single time we write Uniq off, this man steps up. Paul, not the subject of attention during this fight, is able to get a good amount of damage down. It's only 2 items on the Zeri, but with the reworked ADC items, 40% crit chance is all he needs. Dodges the Q from Snobby, dodges Shaquille's chain as well. And when Shaolin goes for an assassination, it's on Cyrax and not onto Paul. It gives the Zeri too much free time for Domino to be able to handle. And Uniq, they may have just bought themselves a lifeline.
Wow, I cannot believe it. The game is back on. Still a massive lead for Domino. As you say, this is a lifeline. It is not a guaranteed comeback by any means, but it is definitely a game that has a fresh breath of life breathed into it. I don't remember the saying in English. I'm really sorry. That sounded really bad. Was it that saying?
It's good enough.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's all that matters.
We got the point. Regardless, my main lesson for Domino now about the fights that they have lost this game is they forgot about Paul. And you cannot forget about Paul. You need to focus down Paul. If they do that, they should win it. It's the only 2 fights they have lost is when they forget about Paul.
Seems simple enough. If we kill the Zeri, we win the game. Now, Kaiser, of course, is hitting that late game trope of an AD carry that's going to start also being very concerning. So the question marks that we had around Domino's position in the game do get a little bit larger. It becomes a little more difficult for them to successfully find a fight. But it is worth noting that they too have got good damage later on. They just don't have the front to back structure that Uniq have got. Right, Tristana, Ziggs are not champions that do low damage in the late game. They are going to be absolutely devastating if also left unchecked. So it comes down to how much can Lolzop buy space, how much can Antwer be a disruptor, because Antwer's actually had quietly a very good game here. 6-2 and 5 on the Wukong, has that death stance as well to be even more durable, spend even longer as a frontline for his AD carries. Now they're looking on this top side. There's nobody here to find, but setting up themselves a little bit of Baron vision with 20 seconds left on the clock is no bad thing.
Yeah, I agree with your point. When you look at the kills, when you look at the scores, when you look at the CS, Uniq should be in this game. The main difference just comes in the amount of turrets taken, right? 6 turrets to 2. That is a big amount of gold shifted around. Extra gold from the Baron as well, of course, and the other neutral objectives. But the fact that Domino, with the fight that they have won, have been able to take so many objectives and turrets, have really just built up this massive goal lead for them.
It looks like they're actually going to be the ones who get first access to the Baron. Fjordbund wins a 1v1. This puts a massive issue in Uniq's hands. They either need to force the Baron or go back to base and then hand access to the Baron to Domino. They've done neither, and Fjordbund's just going to get an inhib.
Snubby's caught out, taken down instantly, but as you say, it is still Fjordbund hitting on the inhib. Uniq, they need more, they want more here. They're gonna chase it down. Cyrax running forward, but taking bombs into his face. Yeah, as you say, no one in base. Fjordbund is hitting the Nexus turret, and now Shaquille, he stopped Pillarson from backing. Fjordbund might just end it all. Here's Cyrax in no man's land. He finds one before he gets taken down. Paul, his recall is completed, and with that, the game's not over, but they lose a Nexus turret. And what do they get? A couple kills.
Decision making from Uniq, they're just a little bit off. I would have liked to see them just flip the Baron as soon as their top laner dies. They're forced into this really difficult position. Fortunately for them, they did take down Shaolin. He's the DPS on the Baron. That means that Domino can't take the objective. It's a little bit tricky for Uniq now, that inhibitor being down, the Nexus turret being gone. It means that if Domino secure one more fight, the likelihood of them being able to end the game skyrocketed off the back of that play. But it has been a really back and intense affair in these last 2 minutes.
What? I didn't really realize Sniper was being caught out there, to be honest with you. I thought they were going to turn it around on them, but in the end, Paul has a lot of damage now.
Couple times this split, and it is more than a couple. Snobby just goes a little too far forward, not respecting the enemy's potential position on the map, and this is another one of those instances. Antwer is a strong Wukong, does have some good damage for this mid game, and is certainly putting it to the test. No Cyclone for any objective fights that are to come. Drake is live, by the way, but neither of these two teams are going for it.
Yeah, they're going for the fight instead. TP in from Lol, so there is a commitment from Uniq to do something here. 1 second on Snobby, he's now back up, but still needs to move out on the map. Baron on the card, Uniq, they've started it up.
Fimbul's got TP here. If he just walks into that bot lane and starts wailing on Nexus turrets, it's no surprise. Use his TP to actually get in there. Now the question is, how long can Domino stall?
Only have one Nexus turret left. Chicane could get in the pit as well. Unable to secure it. Goes to lolclips, but you need to get back. There's 2 people in your base. Your base is falling to pieces. But the recalls have come through. The Nexus though will not care. It falls on Domino. They win the tiebreaker.